honourable member for Columbia, Kootenay, Southern Rockies.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I just want to start off by saying I'll be sharing my time with the honourable member from Chicoutimi-La Fjord. And I want to thank the great people of Columbia, Kootenay, Southern Rockies for their support. For the last decade, Canada has been locked in the same exhausting, costly, and frankly predictable dispute with the United States over softwood lumber. And for a decade, it has been Canadian workers, Canadian families, Canadian communities who have been forced to shoulder the burden of the ongoing trade conflict. It's not a new issue. It's not a surprise. It's been staring at us at the face for years. Yet somehow, despite all the warnings, all the promises, and all the opportunities to act, the Liberal government has failed to secure a stable, lasting agreement, leaving the forestry sector to navigate the longest period in Canadian history without a negotiated settlement. It's not progress, it's not leadership, it's failure. Softwood lumber is not just another commodity. It is one of the foundational pillars of Canada's economy. It supports more than 200,000 direct and hundreds of thousands of indirect jobs. It sustains hundreds of rural, northern, and Indigenous communities. It feeds our domestic construction industry, it fuels innovation, and it generates billions of dollars in exports. When the lumber sector thrives, Canada thrives. But when the lumber sector is threatened, the shockwaves ripple across the entire country. And right now, Madam Speaker, the sector is under threat. Punitive U.S. duties, unfounded, protectionist, arbitrary, continue to hammer Canadian producers. Nearly $10 billion in duties have now been accumulated. $10 billion that should be supporting workers, innovation, reinvestment here at home, sitting instead in an international account. And what has the Liberal government done in response? Well, nothing that has made any meaningful difference. Nothing that has moved the needle for struggling mills. And nothing that signals to Americans or to Canadians that this dispute is being treated with the seriousness it deserves. Year after year, we hear the same lines from the government. We're working on it. Talks are ongoing. A solution is close. And yet here we are, 10 years later, with less certainty, less stability, and fewer tools to protect our producers than we had before. Madam Speaker, let's talk about the past deals for a moment, because history matters here. Previous softwood agreements, when they actually existed, provided at least a degree of predictability. They allowed producers to plan, to invest, and to grow. The 2006 Softwood Lumber Agreement provided clarity, protection, including caps, and prevented the kind of disproportionate duties we are seeing today, especially for value-added producers who are now punished for just simply selling higher value finished products. That agreement didn't happen by accident. It happened because Canada had a government unwilling to accept endless uncertainty, a government prepared to negotiate with focus and determination, a government that understood the needs of the forestry sector. What do we have now? A vacuum, a leadership gap, a government that appears more comfortable with reacting to a crisis than preventing them. Without an agreement, investment dries up. Mills don't modernize, producers hesitate to hire, projects get shelved, opportunities vanish, and once the jobs are gone, Madam Speaker, once a mill closes, once a community loses its primary economic engine, it rarely comes back. We are seeing that risk at play across the country. British Columbia is already dealing with reduced harvest levels, wildfire impacts, and fiber shortages. They must get more value from less wood just to survive. But how can that happen in an environment where the federal government can't secure a predictable market access? From our fourth generation sawmill, Kolesnikov, Ken said the softwood lumber dispute is beyond our control. Current rates of 45% tariff are unsustainable. And he said businesses are drawing on their line of credit to pay payroll. J.H. Hushcroft, the 100-year mill, Justin said, we need a plan for 3 years just to feel secure. We have $1 million in the annual shipping bonds, but we don't have access to it. Another small family-operated mill, Porcupine, Craig said, the combined 45% plus tariff is a severe challenge to any business in the industry. Atco Sawmill, 70 years in business, Scott said, all mills rely on each other for success. When one operation fails, everyone fails. A logging contractor, Hummer Logging, Nick, said that he had to lay off half their staff. Shipping to the U.S. isn't economical, and Europe is slow as well. Even local mills have canceled some of their orders. Madam Speaker, the question really is pretty simple. How long will they be forced to wait before the government finally delivers of the leadership it has been promising for a decade? Thank you, Madam Speaker.